Hi guys, as always let me know if the audio is fine. It should be fine, but anyway, I'm a bit late, so I didn't have the time to set the benchmarking station, so we're going to do it now. And I have a new entry, is the benchmarking table, I don't know if you can call it like this, the kingpin cooling benchmarking thing. So it's basically a plate with some this, I don't know how to call it, but anyway. So I'm going to build this thing, and in the meantime, if you have any question or something that you want to see, because tonight we cannot do, obviously we can't do LN2 since I'm waiting for the Asus Maximus Apex, and without that board I won't be able to do it since this is a cheap board and doesn't make sense to try LN2. But we can do some very interesting things since I saw something in the BIOS and with the Intel tuning, extreme tuning utility that may be worth exploring. But I didn't. I at the time only to set the true memory profile, 3700, 33 megahertz, 314 with tight sub timings. I turned a bit the tertiary timings and 4.4 gigahertz memory C17, which is more or less the same in latency, but it has more bandwidth. So they are similar, but the 4.4 C17 is a bit better. And I didn't tune yet the tertiary timing or the RTL, so it's still a work in progress. I had just a couple of hours, but we will see. The bad thing about this board, I don't like to start with the bad thing, but it's something that I saw is that my RAM that I'm using is the G-Skill Trident Z 4600 megahertz. Is a very good kit, and in the Apex 10, I was able to run XMP profile, even tune it a bit. With this board, the maximum I was able to achieve was 4.4. But anyway, is enough. But since I'm testing it, it's just to point out. Yes, I'm going to play World of Warcraft as well. And let's see. No, I'm fast. In 10 minutes, we are up and running, or less. Just to figure out how to put this thing. So I guess it's like this. I mean, it doesn't need to be perfect. I just need a decent base, a couple of screw, and we are done. Everything is set up, so I just need to turn on the power, and we are ready to go. I think I'm going with the RTX 2080, non the Ti, since I have a lot of benchmark with this, and we can compare. Or if you prefer, we can go with the 2080 Ti if you want to see some very high FPS. Just let me know. Anyway, this thing seems nice. It's light, easy. Because I have the other bench table, but there's the ice dragon on it, and it's kind of pity to see the poor dragon without the LED, you know. And then I want to do a LN2, and then they can't. So we leave the dragon to sleep tonight. Maybe tomorrow we can do some LN2 action with the Ryzen 3800X and take that first position. I don't know. If I can sleep well tonight, we can do it. I will tell you tomorrow if we can do it. So here, this mess of cables is actually the watt meters. So we can see the power consumption. That is something that I'm pretty sure that you want to see tonight. And then I can take the thermographic camera and see the VRM, how they react when we stress the system. Since only by testing the memories, it was quite warm. So, well, I think this board is not meant too much for overclocking. It's a nice board though, because I was able to set 5.2 gigahertz with 2 click. Super fine. Something that with the previous generation wasn't so easy. So the new stepping is nice. That need to be said. But I've been told that the best of the silicon is used by the 10900K. So, but even this is fine. I mean, 5.2 with 1 click at 1.3 volts, something like this. So it's very, very nice. Okay, so this I'm going to place it. Well, let's find a way that you can see it without having this. Okay, I think you can see it like this. Okay, the big brick. Right. Yes, the 9900K is not that easy to take it. Well, my 9900K, which is a super golden sample, I can do 5.2, 5.3, but it's a top 20 CPU, so it's difficult for a 9900K. Just 5.2 out of the box like this. It's difficult. Almost ready to go, huh? At least we can start with the 2080, and then we can do the 2080 Ti down there if we need to. Yes, thinner die is like the old 8700K, but with the deleting. I hope that nobody try to delete this because I'm pretty sure that they will kill it. But now with the soldered CPU, even when we do extreme overclocking, we are not used to delete it anymore. Someone may start to lap the CPU, but personally, when I will do LN2, I will not even lap it. Or maybe, I don't know, if I have to, but I don't think so. So, I think we are ready to go. Now, the bad thing about this normal board, that there's no button, but we have the screwdriver. Is it on? Yes. Okay, so you see the watt, right? We are 106 watts, just here. Okay. So, let's put this here. And what I'm going to do now is to try to find a way to find the mouse. Okay. I think at first we can try with an XMP profile or something like this, so we can see the difference in memory scaling. Yes, when I'm not a big fan of the leading or even lapping, since at least when I do LN2, maybe if you are fighting for the first place and you need like couple of megahertz, but it's not at least to have fun is not needed. All the kind of tricks. There are tweaks more more powerful than that. Um, okay, I think I'm going to put the Flare X first, so we can do some testing with the Flare X, and then we can try the memory profile that I used today, and we can see the difference. Now the board. No, I need to load the default. No, well, no, I can show you. overall, this board is not bad. I mean, if you are looking to save some money and you don't need the extra feature of a super high-end board, it seems stable so far. Pump connector, there's a bit of everything. Now the memory shouldn't be able to train, or yes. But FlareX is a good kit, by the way. I think now you can find it for 100 and something. And I have two kits of FlareX, and both can do really big numbers, like 4 gigahertz C11, sorry, C12 11. Very super nice. Okay, want to take a look to the BIOS? So there's nothing really special here. Something that I saw, and now I'm trying to find it, is that you can control the hyperthreading on a single core. Um, mm, no, is here somewhere. Probably like this. Yes, per core hyperthreading. So this is something that I think is worth testing. Maybe not today, because I want to understand how it works. But it's good to know that we have the option to select what core can do the hyperthreading and what not. I want to know as well where is the option to understand what is the best core, since I think that there's something that can give us what is the best core or two core. I don't recall. So now I'm just to load the XMP profile. So XMP profile, and we try like this, at least to have a perception of what it can do at default. Then we start with the memory tuning and CPU overclocking, or well, both ways, since something that I think is that before start tuning the CPU frequency, the first thing is to tune the memory, since just to take out of the equation the bottlenecks. Yes, the thermal boost thing. Yeah, there's a lot of new things that I want to try. I had an issue though with the USB port, and I'm using the AVGA, the AVGA CL240, which is super nice, but I don't know why with this board I cannot control exactly the pump. As you can see here, sometimes I have the pump control, sometimes not, and this is probably an USB issue. Do you hear the USB sound? Yes. Okay. So I have some issue with the USB. So let's try do the old ways. We change the port and hope that it fixes it. Because if I don't connect the USB, the pump won't function properly, and we may think that the CPU is overheating, but it's the AIO that is not working. And now the fan are stopped. I I think as well I need to set a profile in the BIOS, because if I don't set anything, I don't have the fan spinning. And probably I think it's something that they need to correct with a new version of the BIOS. So we found the first bug. USB is working so and so. Okay, let's solve this issue first. So I'm going to the BIOS and give a bit of power to the fan to set a profile. I saw that before I fixed that. So, I mean, new boards, new issues. The revision of the BIOS is the first. So to find something completely stable at launch is quite difficult. So any suggestion what you want to see first? Some Cinebench and we measure the power consumption, overclocking like this. So now, AWN, I think 50% is the minimum that we need to do. Okay. I would love to try some Mythic ride, but I don't have a guild, and riding in Mythic is quite difficult without a guild. So 5 gigahertz R15. Okay. Now I'm at default. So now the is spinning, and now we have the pump functioning. So I'm at XMP profile, as you can see here. So everything is left on auto except the main timings. I put this thing here. So now should be like 5.1 gigahertz on the single core, and then 49, 48, 47. We have some kind of boost, 4.6, 4.7. Now I'm going to try Cinebench R15. In the meantime, we can see the temperature here. I put this here. So we can see the voltage as well. So all stock. 27 degree in idle. Voltage is 1.1, which is low. I mean, if you leave it at default, 4.7 gigahertz, 1.1 volt, 1.150, 53, 55 Celsius. The paste is I'm using uh, the Thermal Grizzly Cryonaut. So uh, is not well, here is completely cold. I mean, let's try again a couple of runs to see how we can make this CPU stress a bit. I mean, the new process, the new stepping, must be something, an improvement versus the other one, since it can raise a bit the frequency, but in the meantime, at 5 gigahertz, it requires less volt. So even if we do some runs and we start eating it a bit, and by the way, I'm pulling 228 watts, which is not too much. So that's, I don't know if you can see it. I don't think so. Maybe I have to zoom a bit. So let's do it like this. So you can see how much is drawing. 86, 85 watts is in yield. Full system. This is at the full system. So power outlet. Okay, the RTX should be not much, since I think it's like 30, 40 or something like this. So the difference is like 85. Now we start the benchmark again, and we have 90, 20, so at least 150. So we have a, if we were at 85, now we are 228. We have at least 150 watts just by doing this. So to me, it looks like a nice thing. And we are boosting 5 gigahertz. The boost is working. At this point, we can try to overclock a bit now. And it's really easy because I set 5.2 and it went super straight. So I don't touch anything else. So let's try to set 5 gigahertz all core. Now we have 5 gigahertz all core. I didn't touch anything else. So 1.2 volt, 282 watts, and 66 degrees. So the fan is not even at maximum. I mean, it's pretty nice for a 5 gigahertz one click. It's not heating because 66 degrees is not heating. It's not drawing too much. Well, 280. When I was doing a Blender benchmark with the 3950X, so double the core of this, I was at 280. So AMD did something nice with the multi-cores, since with the double the core at the same power consumption, which is something that is interesting. Okay, so we have the temperature is rising a bit, but we have a constant result. We are now at what? 65, 66, 67. Nice. 1.25. The whole system is the power draw at the power outlet. So now let's step the game up a bit. So 5.2, one click. So now we are running at 320. I didn't touch the voltages at all. So in auto it goes 1.31 volts, and we are 320 watts, 73 degrees, which is nice to be Cinebench. So the temperature is okay. The problem is the power consumption. That it seems that hi Karamari, good to see you. And well, so 40 watts for 200 megahertz, 20 watts per 100 megahertz. Again, but 225, 2250 as score is nice. I mean, I think this is good to compare 5.2 versus the Ryzen's. Well, not for power consumption, but maybe for the performance. Now I think in the productivity, they may be at the same level. Yeah, they should be like this: 5.3, 350, 5.4. I think more because they start, scaling like this. So now that, well, it's not uh, it's not hot at all. The VRM warm. Let's keep doing this. No, no, no voltage at all. I just set, like this, extreme tuning utility. I clicked here, 5.2, apply. That's it. So at least it's like super easy overclocking, since the voltage seems tuned properly. I mean, you set the multiplier and the board does all the dirty job while maintaining a good idle voltage. Looks pretty nice to me. I tried 5.3, but it crashes. So I cannot go above 5.2. now with this motherboard, with this cooling. I will try in my custom loop tomorrow, but if I try to set 5.3, we will crash. I will show you later, but the top is 5.2 with this cooling, with these voltages and everything. I tried to push the voltages a bit, but I think I crashed. But we can try. Let's try if we can. Well, do we have the ring? Cache. Okay. 51. Mm, really? No. So, okay, there's an offset. Now we have 4.9, 300 megahertz offset as usual. Let's see if it's stable or not, and if we gain something. So we was 2250. I have an issue with this memory kit with 1T, well, with the other memory kit, and or is the board, I don't know, but I wasn't able to run at 1T. Don't ask me why, I need to find out. Well, we gained, what, 30 megahertz by raising the cache, fine. Um, single, do you really want to stay here a couple, 5 minutes? Okay, let's do it. Uh, okay, so I can read the chat. Something that I want to try in games is to push two cores at 5.4 and all the other at 5.2, or do for 54, 54, 53, 52, something like this. It's something that I really want to try, especially in World of Warcraft, since we need that boost, the single core boost, but we need also the all core boost. I want to read the chat a bit. A worthy upgrade for 2820? Well, I think yes. Depends what you do. You may need, you can upgrade to a Ryzen or to this one or to wait Zen 3. I mean, this is a good CPU, obviously. It's a bit power hungry, but it's a nice CPU. It's the old 9900K, is a monster. You can game, you can do whatever you want. Okay, what I was going to say. Single core 1.26 watts. Temper good. Uh, a lot of people was thinking that it was like a something to heat in winter, but I'm not afraid of the temperature. It's more like the power consumption and the VRM. Because this thing, I think you need a beefy board if you want to do some productivity like rendering. Because I was testing the memory, when I was testing the memory, was after like half an hour of memory testing, so multi-threading workload, but not that much. The VRM was seriously hot. Then we can try to launch Blender benchmark, and with the thermal camera, I can try to see the VRM. The board is the MSI Z490 Gaming Plus. Now I'm using a kit of Flare X, but I have a Trident Z 4600 MHz that I have two profile, one tuned at 4.4 C17 tight and one at 3733 C14 tight. So, okay, 229. Let me take note of this. Now I'm going to try Cinebench R20. So that is going to be AVX. So we should have more temperature as well. I'm going to try this benchmark first since Roberto asked me to do it. I'm going to try as well the difference between these settings, the temperature and the memory tuning. Since to be able to do 4.4 CC17, I had to push the VCCIO, the system agent as well. And when you push that kind of voltages, the CPU start getting really hot. I don't know now what is the voltage that we have there. So system agent, no, I cannot see that here. No. Anyway, so 37, 37. I never do that. I don't have something to compare. But 76 degrees, 5.2 voltage in auto, which is 1.3. The idle is fine. I mean, it's not that bad. Let's try now Cinebench R20. Yes. And see. It should be more power hungry than before. 332, 333. Yes. Temperature is at 74. It's still fine. I mean, all in one, liquid cooling and 5.2. Pretty nice if you ask me. Now I try an AVX test as well. The one integrated in the XTU. Is the AVGA CL240. A nice one. Very nice one. It's not that far from my custom loop. The only thing that is noisy. It's noisy as hell, but the performance is there. But still, 1.32, 33 volts for 5.2, and I clicked 22, 52 multiplier, and that's it. So you can have 5.2 out of the box like this with an average board. I think this one is 180 bucks. Let me check the score. So 5, 4, 2, 3. It's a nice score. At 5.2, well, with the 9900K and the memory tuned, I was 50 megahertz less. So there's no big improvement, like, but still fine. When we have an improvement, it's fine. Now I want to try a couple of minutes the stress test with AVX2 just to see the maximum temperature we have. Now you see the voltage is spiking, so we have 1.37, which results in why so low? Let's wait a bit. Curious that we are drawing only 240, but we have 1.36 volts. Temperature is 54 degrees. It's low. For a stress test, it's pretty low. There's some kind of bug. Okay, I don't trust this test. Let's try AIDA Extreme. This should be way heavier. 355, 360, 360 watts. The FPO is a big stress test. So 1.35. Everything is on auto. I just set the multiplier, and this is a very nice thing. 86 degrees, 362 watts. Honestly, with all the fuss about the 10th generation is going to start a fire, I was expecting something worse than this. Yes, it's power hungry, okay, but I can push it to 5.2 with an AEO. VRM maybe another story, but so far so good. Yes, out of the box OC 5.2, 2 click. I mean, only by this maybe it makes sense if you want to upgrade. Plus, you have the board ready for the next generation that should bring interesting features. I can try Prime 95, and you want to see me catch fire, right? Okay, let's do this. Let's burn tonight. But the system crashed. Yes, we have a big shutdown. Interesting, because everything was fine until I click stopped. It's starting itself. We need the coffee meme. Yeah, the thing to do is set a manual vcore, load level, load line calibration, and all the stuff. Anyway, I want to try Prime 95, just to see if it's worse than IDFPU. Caramelli, you have to wait a week or two that I can have my Asus Apex, and then we do some LN2 stuff, 7 gigahertz or something more if we can. So I want to overclock this beast as much as you want, but I want to do it with proper cooling. Here we have the monster. Um, uh, so, overclock. Look how hard it is. 52. Apply. And that's it. Prime is heavier. 90, 87, 445 watts. It is this is crazy. 450. You know that when I overclock the Ryzen 3800X at almost 6 gigahertz with LN2 and 1.8 volts, I was less than this, and the system crashed. So okay, it's not completely stable at this. There's a lot of power. I don't know. Maybe it's the VRM, but 450 is a lot. 450 is definitely a lot. So we need to do manual tuning, set a manual voltage, and to see what happened. So now I want to enter the BIOS. I want to try to do Prime 95 at 5.2, but with manual settings. Since I bet that the board will start pushing the voltage too much, I will raise the RAM voltage, the RAM frequency later. I just want to try this first. So yeah, let's do everything in manual. Let's try with 51 first. I want to try with 51. So 51, override 1.32. Want to try like this. Where is the... I hate this BIOS. Let's try 2 and then we can correct. So 5.1, 1.32. Let's see how many drop we have. The VRM frequency. Well, I'm not sure it's the VRM yet. Since it's hot, but it's not that hot. But well, we are 450 is a lot. But I mean, that's why as well I don't like testing with Prime 95, since we saw that in Cinebench we pulled 320 and in Prime 450 is something that is very unrealistic. So I prefer to do Blender or IDFPU is tough. Okay, 5.1. Put this here with the voltage. So I'm now at 5.1. Okay, the load line is doing this job. 1.33. We are still at 450. 450 per 5.1 gigahertz. 96 degrees. So no, it's best not to run Prime 95 on this CPU. I mean, it's insane. OCCT is fine also sometimes, but OCCT, I saw that OCCT sometimes doesn't really push the CPU for stability. I prefer IDFPU. IDFPU, if you can pass 2 or 3 hours of IDFPU, I never had any issue, never. Prime 95 is a bit ridiculous. No software will draw all that power. Let's try again. So here we have FPU, so we are using AVX as well. We are using, well, not AVX2, but we're using AVX. So okay, now we are 330, 340, 82 degrees, something more common. But now, what we can do now? I would like to test in gaming if we can push like 5.4 or something like this, and just using the two core. What is this? Okay, so it seems that the core number 1 and the core number 4 are the best cores. So what I'm going to try now is to push these two cores a bit. So we saw that we were stable at 5.2. I want to push 5.3. I cannot. Okay, 5.4. So the luckiest score to 5.4. Let's see how if the system can handle that. Let's do a Cinebench R20. So we have 6 core at 5.2, a 2 core at 5.4. And it seems working. Let's see, we need this one to see that. No, everything is 4.2, 5.2. Why that? Probably the thing is broken. But the problem is the board, because I have LN2 here, but this board is gonna die for sure. If it was pulling 420, 450 at 5.2, if I start going at 6 and something gigahertz, 6.5, I'm going to pull like what, 1 kilowatts. Yes, I think. Well, the score is higher now, so or not. What was the other score? So no, it's lower actually. Let's try with the game. So let's try with World of Warcraft since let's try with this thing on. Now I'm with the XMP profile, so I'm going to push as well the cache a bit. So we are now at so XMP profile. The cache is overclocked. The CPU is 5.2. So I want to try to play a bit like this and do a rifle run, and then we measure with the RAM overclocking the difference. And if we get those two cores, the lucky cores, to go up. Just a moment that I load my chart. I think I'm going to use the Paladin today. So cap frame. Okay, well, quality 10, no limiter whatsoever, nothing. The frame rate is high, I have to say. We cannot see the clock here, but well, we are at 5.2. Why I cannot see the clock here? That's weird. Nice. And I have the CPU clock. Well, we try a bit to play like this and then we go back to hard. No, I think I can take it from hardware info. Maybe. Okay, we have the clock here. It's under memory clock, but who cares? I know why. Anyway, so if I set with extreme tuning utility 54, it doesn't do anything. So it's not working. Well, I have to spend a bit of time about that, but it doesn't look like that is a technology that is working nicely.
For Admiral's favor, friend.
One thing that I want to know if there's any improvement with the hyperthreading on. And in this game, Intel CPU lately suck a bit since with the hyperthreading on, we have actually really bad lows. But so far, it seems that we have a super nice performance, even with the RAM XMP. We will see. Just to tell you the final numbers, I'm with the 2080, the 9900K at 5.2, with the memory profile a bit tweaked. I was at where is that? 173 with 104 1% low and 71.1% lows. And here it seems that we may have an improvement, a big one, a very big one. No, I don't want to kill this board tonight, poor thing. I need to do some benchmarking. When I finished all my benchmark and everything, I can kill the board. But now I need her. The game look Tennessee old because he's 15 years old, actually. More than that, 2004. He's 16 years old. Because I'm playing at 1080p. If you push 4K, it's actually pretty nice. Now I'm going to test latency. But something that I just saw is a better low. So probably they they did change something. Because now I'm going to check the result, but this check this. It's not common. And now I'm going to check the frame time, since it's the frame time that will tell us the actual performance. In the meantime, let's try to check this. So this is the frame time chart. It's still spiky. See, there's some drops here stuttering. I mean, it's pretty high, but this is stuttering. Well, at least spike to 80, 90, something like this, which is isn't bad. I want to show you something. This is the 3300X and XMP. No, let's try the Flare X. How about this? This one, this one, this one. Okay. And the last one. So okay, it's faster, but okay, this one. This one is what I want to show you. But let me check. So in green we have the this CPU, and in orange we have the 3300X. It looks like slower, but the same, like consistency in the frame time. The 77. Okay, where is it? Okay, this is the 7700K. So in green we have the new CPU that we are testing tonight. In orange is the 3300X, and in blue is the 7700K. You can see here, and it's pretty interesting since see the spike. It's pretty cool actually. There's a big improvement. If we see the frame time without spike like this, it's actually better than the AMD that have a lot of cache and was beating really hard the 7700K. So this is the 7700K, a lot of spikes, and this is 20, the 10, 6, 7, the 10700K. Why they did such a bad thing with the names? I really, yeah, the 7700K is pretty much dead in comparison, but I wasn't expecting this since Intel, the hyper trading and Intel with World of Warcraft lately wasn't so great. So maybe with this generation there's a big performance improvement, and maybe they will be the new king in World of Warcraft. That lately, in my opinion, was kind of Ryzen 2, since in Ride the performance was super nice, a little less average, but no spikes. But it seems that this 10th generation they did something inside. Not It's not only like a rebranded name, more power hungry. They did something because this was 2 generations ago, and I think the 9900K is quite similar with spikes. Let me try to see if I have here because I don't have everything. Okay, yes, I have some. Actually, I just picked the right one. Okay, so let's compare it. Okay, this in yellow is the 9900K, and it's pretty much a default. Similar. So 10, 700 and 9900K. This is big, guys. Look at the difference. The green is the new one, the yellow is the old one, which should be, in theory, is the same, more or less the same frequency, more or less the same cache and everything. But with the 9900K, I have the big spikes with other not. This is kind of amazing. Well, if they bring another plus in the market with this improvement in a frame time chart, is big, since it's not only the frequency that they touched, maybe they touched something else. Anyway, I think I get you bored if I play too much with this thing. But anyway, I think this is something that we must definitely take a look. Let's do another run just to see the consistency.
What can I do for ya? See,
The fact that we have a lot of 1% low and 0.1% low is probably something big, because the advantage of the Ryzen was the big average in World of Warcraft. But if now with the new Intel we have bigger average as well, it can change the results of the picture. But by the way, we are pulling 280 in World of Warcraft. It's a lot. It is power hungry. It is power hungry. Yes, the memory training is fast. Now I'm going to change the memory and I'm going to do this exact test with the tuned memory profile, and we probably have another boost, which I'm very curious to see, because this thing is quite interesting. Now I have a second PC that I have two PC, a PC that you see here that I had all the streaming deck and everything, and this board. Well, when I test something, is always alone, so there's no performance penalty. No, I don't have artifacts. Maybe it's the compression. For Zen 1, 1.45, no, it's too much. I suggest you not to go over 1.37. 1.38, fine. 1.45 is going to be tough. As well, because you need to cool that. Yes, I can run Fire Strike. I don't know if I have Fire Strike here. I can install it. I just want to see one more time this test with the beefy memory timings profile. So this time is a bit lower. The first time I do this test usually is a bit higher, and then the results just go down a bit, which is normal. That's why I do always 3, 4, 5 tests. But uh, we have we have a good improvement in the average. I mean, 1% lows with the 9900K, I got like 70 or 61, and here we have 99. So we have 30% improvement over the previous generation in the lows.
Keep your wits about you, Albert.
The average is more or less the same, but the lows is amazing, amazingly good. That sounds interesting, and I really want to test it a lot. Why there's this big change? In the meantime, I'm touching the chipset, and it's hot. I mean, it's probably 60 degrees. The VRAM is kind of hot as well, but probably is like 50. That's breather. And the memory VRM is also hot. I mean, if they improve the performance and everything, it's just about keep this thing cool. Red Dead Redemption, I hate that benchmark because the low is extremely inconsistent, but probably is something that is good to see now, since I saw that we have a lot of good lows. If we get more than 60 FPS in the lows of Red Dead Redemption, it's probably a thing. Okay, the fly point I use is from here, the castaway point, here, down here, to Stormsong Valley, Tide Cross. The good is because we just go, you see, we go past Boralus, and well, this zone, when you fly over this zone, is very, very CPU intensive, because there's a lot of I don't know, things there that cause issue. if you do this benchmark, the most important thing when you do it before taking the Gryphon is to type slash dash slash uh, time test one, like this. Look in the chat. Time test one. So when you do this, the system will configure automatically to take out players and other the variables, and you can repeat the same exact benchmark in a scientific way. So this is the integrated benchmark of World of Warcraft. You type time test one and you do the Gryphon run. I was looking for like a ride benchmark test, but no, I have to do it manually. Ah, it's okay since I mean I think I leveled a lot the the Heart of Azeroth just by repeating the same ride over and over. Okay, so now BIOS and we start to load the beefy RAM preset. I noticed that this board to start up is super fast. So 4.4 tight. I don't remember if we have as well. No, there's no CPU overclocking. We will do CPU overclocking later. I have to shave some volts since I think I'm a bit high, but well, I made this profile in a couple of hours, so I still need to tune the tertiary timing, the RTL, and everything, the IO. But Nori, thank you so much. This thing in Spain is like 470. I don't recall. Let me check. This CPU in Spain is 449. Oh, okay, my bad. I was trying to load the profile with the Flare X. This architecture loves HU chips, so the RGB chips. The A1, they are they don't play so nice. So the Flare X is nice, but when I try to push those ticks, but I found that the HU, the RGB one, is much better, especially if you want higher frequency. The startup button. Thank you. Looking for ride? Yes. I think I'm going to try to do some other benchmark just to make everything, all the people happy. Then we can do some ride benchmarking with this memory configuration, which is pretty good. I want to try to find out why it's not booting first. It should be work like this. I will have the 10600. I don't know when. Like I will have like the 10900K as well, but probably in a couple of weeks. So for the moment, I only have this one, but I will cover every CPU. So sooner or later, I will cover everything, especially like maybe if I think next Friday, I will have the 10300. That should be like the 7700K on steroids, and I hope they did what they did to this one. Why is the board shutting down? I'm Italian, but I live in Spain. We are in Spain now. The good thing when you do a live is that you spend hours to try to make the thing works, and then nothing works as it's supposed to be. Smoke like a train. Yeah, this is the 10700, the new 9900K with another name, and probably with some improvements since I never saw that lows on World of Warcraft, and it's big. I mean, I saw a lot of reviews, and it doesn't seem like a super CPU, something revolutionary in normal games. But if I saw that in World of Warcraft, since a lot of people that watch this channel play World of Warcraft, and it's kind of big. Maybe the Intel came back. Okay, we have some issue here that I don't know what it is. I'm going to try the other RAM profile first. And this is weird since it's 2 days that I'm running this memory profile without any issue. Yes, the 10900 should be super nice. But, well, I have to try it. I can't understand why I'm having issues. I test the profile so many times. No, that was on Windows. I now the CPU should be at default. Anyway, I was booting today. I was booting at 5.2 without any issue. This is the first time that I see issue now. But well, maybe the BIOS, maybe everything. I will I will make the system run. No, I didn't fry the board. Okay, this is the 33 megahertz profile. Let's do a latency test. A profile that I created in really no time. No, there's something that it doesn't like. I'm at default. I don't understand why. The CPU is at default. Memory is not. More voltage on everything. I can try to pour some liquid nitrogen like this to scare the board. Maybe it's Windows. Who knows? I love this thing. Let's try to boot at default. Now, you know what I want to do when my water is hot. Show you a nice trick. Since my water is hot, as you have seen, when the water is hot, just put some liquid nitrogen and you cool the water. If I'm too lazy to go upstairs to my refrigerator, I just cool the water with liquid nitrogen. It's very nicely. I'm overclocking the water, as you can see, and it's pretty cool since in a minute or two this will get really, really cold. By the way, the system is restarting at default, so there's something weird going on. I don't know what it is, but we will find out. In the meantime, I cool the water because if I don't do LN2 in a live stream, it's kind of bad. So I need to spill some liquid nitrogen when I do a live stream. I don't feel I will feel better anyway. Yes, more. I need more. Okay, this is his place. We need some liquid nitrogen. Okay. Now, okay, the system just oh probably is Windows that is not going the way it should be. I can try to change the memory as well again, just in case. I don't know why, but weird thing. Maybe I can try to revert the memory order. The only thing I need to to check is not to cool too much, or otherwise the glass will like explode. Overclocking water for gamers, yes. Automatic repair. Let's see if the water is overclocked enough. More. More coin. You know what? I broke the glass. Oh, that's bad. I love this button. Look at this. I broke the glass. Too bad. But I think it's safe to drink it. Yeah. Okay, rip pretty bottle. Yeah. So, Karamari, I broke something. Now you're happy. And I have ice here. And since I have, let's try to baptize this ball. Let's see if we are more lucky like this. I cannot touch that. It's probably like 100 degrees below, and I'm going to burn my hand. Ice. Such a nice thing when everything is fine, but Windows doesn't want you to do things. I mean, the board is fine. It's Windows that it do what Windows does, breaking the balls to me every day. I hate Windows. I'm a Mac guy. I'm a Mac OS guy. For productivity, I use Mac OS. To do this thing, I have to use Windows, but I don't like it. See, everything is doing bad things. So just to make sure now that the board is fine, I'm going to use SATA hard drive with with what? Hmm, nice question. Let's try this. Okay, so troubleshooting 101. If your Windows is going to kill you, try with another one. No, see? He's scared. Now he's working again. So I think was the liquid nitrogen. We need to baptize the board again just to be a better overclocker, more stability. See? Now it's working better. And I don't need the second hard drive anymore. You know that I never use this? Give me some other insight since I never use this tool. My ignorance is big. Now, what I have to do? So, error warning to me is like alien language. We still have issue with the USB, by the way. Anyway, I will check it later. Since it's working, let me hope it stays that way. We change the memory and we do some cool stuff. Now I know that when I start the new memory, I need to baptize the board with liquid nitrogen. Otherwise, we will have bad luck. We don't want bad luck. Okay, everything is set. Some liquid nitrogen all over the board. And we start again. Okay. Let's see if we can start with a good profile now. As you can see, the board is pretty fast in training. Pencil mod. I need swords mod. So if it's not working, next time I will use this on the board. So you have to scare a bit the components, otherwise they're stubborn. Okay, so everything seems working now. It was just a small rebellion, but since we have the baptize of the cold, now it should working. No, it's a real sword. I mean, it's a real one. It's a it's still it's very well. It's a decoration sword, but it's still. And I hope you can kill someone with this, like a motherboard. In fact, I was prepared for the zombie apocalypse, but we don't have any zombie yet, and I'm a bit disappointed. No zombie. I was ready. The overclock so far was 5.2, almost stable if I was not running Prime 95. So this is the configuration. So I didn't touch much the tertiary timing or the RTL. I basically took the secondary timing, the primary timing, and we should have a good memory bandwidth and a good latency. Now I'm going to overclock the cache as well. After we do this, we should be like at 40. nanosecond without overclock. So now I'm going to overclock the cache and the CPU speed. We should be at 37, at least the 1900K with a profile like this, what was like at 37. I have to tool this to tweak this one, but I mean, it's a profile that I did like 1 hour or two. It's not perfect, but it does the job since it's a good memory profile. It was quite easy because I think in 2 hours I did all the tweakings. See, nice bandwidth, nice latency, and I never tried this test when the cache and the CPU is overclocked, and should be nicer. So why is that package 5200 cache? I think it has the offset. Okay. Now the latency should be better since the cache. You know what? I saw that versus the 9900K, I have higher latency. In fact, I saw like at least 3 nanoseconds with the same memory configuration. So I think they did something that they didn't tell us, since I have higher latency. In fact, Gen 9 to Gen 10, we lose a bit of latency. Okay, 39. With this profile, with this clock, with the 9900K, I'm at 37. So I think they did something to the core, because with this memory profile, with everything, 9900K, I'm at 37, sometimes 36. So I think they did something. If I use this same profile with the 9900K, I'm at 36. Yes, it's weird. I think they did something that they didn't tell us already, but we can't have the lows that high. Pass me the joke. But so now I'm going to try again with World of Warcraft, just to see the difference between before and now, with the CPU overclocked 5.2, the cache overclocked 4.9, and the memory profile that is much much better. So one moment that I load the game. I'm very curious to do ride, and if the chat is fine, we can do a ride now. Or if you want to see other test, just because I don't know if I have Firestrike here, and I think it will take time to install it. Um, but I try to do some more tests if you want, and then we can see a ride, because I'm very curious in ride, because I'm sure at this point they did something. They did something to the cache or the latency in general, because it's not a night game behavior. It's completely different. Now, pulling 300 watts in World of Warcraft is something a bit strange. But if we have amazing performance, why not?
What can I do for you? Look away to the sea.
Now we should see a much better frame rate overall, a much better 1% low, 0.1% low. Yeah, I have to spend time with the memories, but uh, as I told you, I spend like 1 hour to build that profile. I usually fine tune the memory for a long time since I do every time I check the thing I measure. I will do the tertiary, the RTL, the IO, everything, but it takes time. This profile is just to was built in 1 hour to make some show now. So yes, but in theory, the more mitigation they mitigate, the worse the CPU should perform. Well, probably if they did something in hardware, maybe was the software that was causing issue, and now is not causing issue anymore. That maybe that. And so far we have pretty damn nice numbers. I mean, look at the average is massive, really massive. I mean, now Intel I think is going back to the first position in World of Warcraft. So if yesterday I was saying that for World of Warcraft Horizon was the best for the lows, now I think we have both of the way we have the best of both worlds. So we have super high average and super high 1% low and 0.1% lows. Look at this. Okay, we have to test in the right to see, but just by seeing this is kind of amazing.
You're a long way from home.
I mean, these are pretty serious numbers. Now, let's see a comparison between the run we did before. So this and this. We gained 10%. So same overclock, same everything by only tuning the memory from XMP with a Flare X kit, which is a nice kit, 3200 megas C14. We have 10% improvement almost everywhere. Yes, we have a 10% improvement in all the metrics, and it's big. What I just did. Okay, this. Well, the spike are more or less there. Yeah, we just increment the overall numbers. So, but I mean, it's fine. Nice to see that with proper tuning, you can have 10% improvement. Because there's still people that say that with Intel you don't need to tune the memory. Well, less than Ryzen, but you need to. We gain 10% for free. I think you need to find both. Um, you can do like super lower latency but not so great bandwidth, and it's fine. But like this profile, which is 4400 megahertz C17, I have a good latency like the low latency profile, low megahertz, with the bandwidth of the high megahertz profile. And since now people are benchmarking SuperPi with 4800 C14, maybe the new way is high frequency, not super low latency, super low CAS, but I think it's something in between. Yes, I'm going to try that profile now, just to see the difference. I made two profiles exactly for that. So when I'm going to land, I'm going to restart, use the other profile, and we can see. Just straight like this. Now I'm going to try the other profile. So 3733 MHz, C14. And I think in that profile I also tuned a bit the tertiary timing and probably the TREF. So is a profile a bit is tight. I have to check it in a sec. It's like this. Well, no. I want to try first like this and we'll see. The board. The board seems fine. I think that the BIOS is not so great as a first revision, but well, it was a nice board. I mean, I clocked the CPU with one click to 5.2 volt. The voltage was stable. The voltage was following the overclock scaling nicely, so we didn't have too much drop, voltage drop, and it's fine. Yes, I think for $180 board, it's fine. And well, the board now are pretty expensive, but I think you have what you pay. The look is nice as well. It's black, some LED. Well, to disable the mitigation, I think was something in the registry, but I don't really, I don't recall how to do that. But it's something that probably I will do it in a video to see, because this is a very good point, and that's why this is sorry, is performing better than the other generation. But I won't be able to try that. Yes, I'm using a CL240 from EVGA. System restarted, and it's not the memory. So maybe Windows is just giving up. An air cooler I can try with the Noctua, but for tonight, I think. No, I don't think bad content. Maybe it's the Windows that just do stupid things. Windows just being Windows. Because I run this system for hours. And the fan. I want. You know what? Maybe is the temperature. Why not? Because I have the fan that sometimes the USB doesn't work properly. So I have to raise this to have at least a minimum 60 and 50. Okay, let's try like this. If you go the with this CPU, I suggest you to buy an A2 kit, the RGB kit. Like it's expensive, but something like the big RGB kit. So 4000 C18, C19, the good B die, if you can find it. Well, the FlareX is nice as well, but the FlareX is revision A1. The RGB is revision A2, which is works a bit better with this chipset. So if you can find an A2, is better. The best is like I don't know, the 4233 megahertz C19. It's a good bin kit. I have one there. It's a nice kit. Well, there's always the lucky when you pick the memory. So you have to be lucky by default. So one moment. No, I'm going to check the latency first. So this is it. Again, I need to tune this memory profile since this originally was like 10 10 10 or 11 11 11, but now I see there's something strange that happens. I need to check it. So it's a really last minute profile. There's a lot of things that I have to tune, but for this live, I think it's more than enough. Yeah, 4000 C17 is a nice kit. Probably it's expensive. As you've seen here, we have lost a lot of bandwidth. The latency should be the same, or roughly the same. Now I'm going to overclock the CPU, and we're going to check that, yes, more or less 40 nanosecond. Oof, this is so long. Okay, like before. This is already at 5.2. What? Yes, I think I was already overclocked. So yes, we have more or less the same latency, slightly, but we have less bandwidth. Let's see how it performed in World of Warcraft again. That's why if you can find a good A2 kit, you can have both bandwidth and latency. This board can do 4.4 easily. It was very easy to push 4.4, and then I tweak the subtiming, the tertiary timing, and everything. So the ideal is an A2 kit. It's more expensive though. Yeah, but I don't want to spill any more liquid nitrogen. Now it's baptized. And we can try again to see if with C14 tight subtiming, I have the tertiary timing as well a bit tighter.
You're an admiral's favor, friend. Look always to the sea.
Okay. From the look at that, we are probably more or less the same. That as well, if you are not able to find a high frequency kit, you just do like normal frequency and low timings. This Corsair, this Scale X can perform well at 3600, 3700, C14. It's a nice kit. It's like 120 now, and it should probably be able to do this profile without any issue. But I think this is now slower. Well, 300 watts for WoW is not impressive. The 3800X in World of Warcraft, I don't recall. Maybe it's like I mean something slightly more than 100. I think. Now, well, with the CPU and everything, I'm running a GeForce RTX 2080. So with the GPU and everything is slightly less, but not too much. Keep in mind that it's GPU and CPU. The GPU is not doing much, but it's pulling. But I think, if I remember correctly, when I was testing the 9900K with this exact GPU, I was at 330 in Shadow of the Tomb Raider though. So it's not much power hungrier than the other generation. So
You're a long way from home. We will make this valley whole.
so let's check this. Okay, so we have this run, nice. The previous one with the other memory. Mm, no, no, no. I think I forgot to do like this. Ah, I didn't take the World of Warcraft thing here. We have to do it again. But well, it was like 198, and this was we are more or less there. Now let's try it again. It seems that I'm GPU bound, but not that much. But you know, a funny thing that I tried as well with the TI, the 2080 Ti, and in World of Warcraft, I was having. No, I don't have it anymore. Well, I will check it. But even if you see 94%, 90%, there's still much to do. Look at now. The GPU count is 65%. So I'm going to restart the test. And I really want to see. The problem is I have. Uh, yes, 200 FPS, of course. You start bottlenecking. But in the whole run, there's a lot of parts where it's mostly CPU. Okay, now we can capture. So we have to do the run again. I check the performance in all this fly path because there's a lot of CPU intensive part like near Boralus.
What can I do for you? Safe passage.
Okay, now we should see everything we want. But I'm still impressed by the lows. So I think tomorrow and Sunday I'm going to test a lot in ride the CPU, which is probably going to be a good one. CapFrame is free. You can download it. Probably you need as well Riva Tuner, but I don't know if it's integrated. I had it already, but it used Riva Tuner to work. Thank you very much. You're contributing the drink for the dragon that I will use soon in an L2 stream. With Aini CJR, yes. Actually, I have a kit here. This one is a pretty good one. The Sniper X is Hini CJR. I don't know if you can see it. This one. This is a very nice kit, but I found that the sub timings are not so tight like the ballistic Rev A, but it's a nice kit. And I think I compared that kit in the my Zen 2 review. And if you tune it correctly, if you spend time with the sub timings and everything, you are not too far from BDI. Yes, in some games, yes. But if you have a CGR kit, you can go higher in frequency. Probably you can go more than 400, 4000 megahertz. So overall, the CGR is not bad. Before I discovered the E-die, the Micron E-die, the CJR was a very nice alternative to B-die. Now, if you buy CJR new, I mean, you can buy for the same amount the Rev E that is a bit more tight in the subtimings. I have a new RAM kit incoming that should be able to do 490, 4.9333, so almost 5 gigahertz C14 for the Apex. And yes, you will see that in when I do LN2 stream.
Storm song will endure.
It'll be a nice one. Almost 5 gigahertz memory C14 is going to push a lot. Now, let's see the difference if we was able to catch it. Yes. Okay. So we have here the result. The higher frequency rocks much better than lower frequency at tight primary and subtimings. I'm no, the kit that I'm going to buy is going to do almost 5 gigahertz C14, but at 2.1 volt. 2.1 is an extreme overclocking kit, so it's a lucky kit. Okay, so let's check the frame time. Big difference. So you can see here in orange, the higher frequency results in lower frame rates. So frame time, sorry, and it's big. I mean, let's take away the XMP profile, which is crap. Let's see the difference between the two. Higher frequency, lower cast latency. Well, I think it's obvious. If you can afford a high frequency kit, is the best way. Easy. I will try that RAM kit with the liquid nitrogen as well. I have the RAM pot. I want to try to push more than 5 gigahertz C14 to do some super PI, something like this, but let me see. Actually, I have it. It's pretty nice. Like, somewhere here. I will show you the RAM pot in my next slide, probably. Yes, I saw that the Elmore was quite impressive. I mean, 6.6 gigahertz was quite impressive. I mean, probably this Intel platform is better than I thought. Honestly, I was a bit like, another plus. But no, since the memory tuning is easy. The CPU tuning at 5.2, you saw, one click and fine. With a board that is on the lower end is 180 bucks, so it's one of the cheapest. The CPU is a retail CPU, it's not a bin CPU. 5.2 easy. The only issue is that, well, it's a bit power hungry, but so far the VRM is holding. And this board looks like the VRM is big, but let me show you. In fact, this is not full VRM. The heatsink is like this. This is only like a small wing. The VRM heatsink is like this. It's very small. So I don't expect to be a super strong board with a VRM, but it can handle the i7, so it's fine. The HT disable on the last core. That should be something that I should do, since the last core is the one that is using World of Warcraft. I don't know if I can do it from here. Um, Something that is nice. I want to try it if it works. I can tune the memory timing from here, but I don't know if it's working or not. Or you just need to restart. I think I have to do it in BIOS, and I was curious to test the Tomahawk since it's a bit better than this one, but it wasn't on stock, so I had to buy this one because I like Tomahawk series. In AMD is one of the best for you know value component, but more or less is the same like this. So I think the Tomahawk Live like the second Ethernet port, another heatsink in the M2 slot. What else? The same VRM section, but it's more or less the same board, and it's nice. I mean, it's warm now, not hot. Doesn't really need to take uh, in the thermal camera, but I will. I want to do a review of this board. Okay, no. Anyway, let's try if we can manage to do 5.3 gigahertz without crashing. 5.3 gigahertz. The voltage is at, I don't know, I don't care. Let's try if we see we can play at 5.3 gigahertz. The cache is at 51 with the offset. It should be now at 5 gigahertz cache. A bit lower latency in theory. Let's see what 100 megahertz scale.
Good day to ya. Keep the wind in your sails.
But now I have the slower lamp. Yes. No, I don't need more voltage. The board does it all by itself. I mean, for the Gryphon run, we can handle 5.3 gigahertz. The clock ring ratio now is 50, since there's the offset of 300. And the thing that I liked in the Apex, the Asus Apex, when I used the Apex 10, was that you can override that offset. Now here I don't think I have the command in the BIOS to do it. So 5.3 CPU, 5 gigahertz the ring. Yes, now I'm going back to that profile. But I mean, that profile is a profile that I made in 1 hour. It's a bit trashy. I You can copy if you want, but I need to spend. Usually, I spend a lot of time with the memory. Yes, I may shark or just uh, yes. I join the Discord server. I will send you everything if you want. But is I tuned with that profile. I tune only the secondary timing, the primary timing, and that's it. I didn't touch the tertiary timing. I didn't touch the RTL. No, the Apex is the extreme overclocking board. The extreme is like for the extreme enthusiast. I don't know, but the Apex is the only one with the two memory slot, which can let you go higher with the memory, and there's more feature in the board that is used for when you do LN2. So there's, I think, there's the one X PCI access slot right here, because you usually, I don't use the X716 slot because there's some kind of bug. So the Apex is the one that for LN2. Ciao Roberto, notte. Ah, I clicked the wrong path. Okay, so this benchmark is useless. But let's see. Go with orange and the blue. So this is what 100 megahertz make the difference. Okay. Same memory profile, 100 megahertz, we have 6 FPS. 4 FPS 1% low, 2 FPS 0.1% lows. I mean, we is not for quad channel, since the uh, the other uh, the HDDT have quad channel. The board can have 4 slot, but it's not quad channel. It's different. Okay, let's try 5.4 and make Karamali happy. Where is the Gryphon now? I can't remember. It's here. Oh yes, up here. I don't have the 2080 Super. I have the Ti. Warzone, but I don't have Warzone. But it's probably something that I make. I can test more games, but offline. Since now I'm almost ready to go to bed. Since here is like 1 in the morning, and tomorrow morning at like 10, I have to ride my horse, and I'm quite tired. So let's try 54 and crash. So I can load the other profile back. I can show you the timings. Okay. Well, anyway, for light gaming, 5.3 was like okay, but I will stay at 5.2 for daily, since was nice. And then you start really going deep into power consumption for nothing, for 5 FPS on average. It's not worth it. One thing we can try is to disable the hyperthreading on the last thread core, last core. So per core hyperthreading, I mean, why not disable? Let's try like this. Yes, you need X299 for quad channel. But I really want to try the ride. Not today. Now I'm start getting really tired. But tomorrow for sure I will benchmark some ride. And if I find something cool, I can make like a video just gameplay, like quick intro and some right gameplay, so you can see all the metrics and all the gameplay. And because I'm pretty sure that the raid is going to perform very nicely. So now, in theory, I should have 15 threads. So now we are overclocked at 4.2. Is that right? Yes, 4.2. Cache 4.9. But we should have only one thread. Let's see how it works in World of Warcraft. Ciao Simo. Tasks manager look like let's see. But free. 12. That's weird. 14. Where is the 15? 0. 14. No, okay, it's fine. 15. Okay, when I don't do basic math, is because I'm really tired. Okay, so last benchmark. Yes, 8 core, 15 threads. It's weird, a weird concept. So now, if the thread is still here, the best one, but now I think is core number 2, the one that World of Warcraft is running mainly. I should use Affinity, but if I use Affinity, World of Warcraft scales, and it scales up to 8 threads. And I did it in a past live, and I tried playing with Affinity. World of Warcraft actually use 8 threads, but there's only one main big thread that is used for the performance, the spell and everything. So it's going to be very tricky. And I think there's no point anymore to do this test since the thread just jumped to the second one. And playing with Affinity, we will lose performance since we have need at least 8 threads. I don't know if I have if I strike here, we can try. Uh, Let me check. No, I don't have I strike here, and I have to check in the NAS. It's a bit messy, but I will include Fire Strike Physic when I do the review of the CPU because I'm going to do all the games and many things. I can take or offline. I will send you tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon, the Fire Strike score in the Discord. So anyway, um, yes, I'm the link for my Discord server. I will send you it right now because yes, I'm start feeling tired, much tired. So here's the link. Join the Discord server. We are a very big and interesting community. We have a lot of weird people, and it's nice. So since you can feel less weirder than the other, and it's a nice thing. My horse name, I have five actually. My main rider's name is Taranto. Then I have another one that's called Furioso. Then another one that is called Flaca. Another one that is called First Nenia, and another one that is called Anson Boy. So five big bastard. I love my horse, all of them. And well, I guess I don't know if you have something very quick we can do, or I think it's time to go to rest the skeleton. Yes, I have to, well, enable all the core. Yes, well, the X470 with Zen 3 was always supported. What was not supported was the B450, and that was big. But since now they're going to um, release a new BIOS, that if you update to that BIOS, you lose the compatibility of the older Ryzen, which is okay, by the way, because I think you can still save the money for a board, because like the Tomahawk Max is a nice board, and even if you have like an hypothetical 4800X will be supported for the Tomahawk Max, like supported for the DRM and stuff. Tomorrow I would like to push with liquid nitrogen the 3800X, because I don't know if you know, but I was at the first place in the Cinebench R15, and then I got behind, and now I'm like in a tie with the first position. So we are like at the same point, but I'm second since I needed a bit more frequency, and I want to grab that first position since with that CPU I have almost all the first position, and now I miss one, and we need to get it back. And usually the LN2 stream here is pretty fun since I really love what you do in the chat. You make me company, and well, I think if I can rest tonight, and that's why I want to go to bed now, we can do another live stream and we can push a 5.65 gigahertz, the Ryzen 3800X. Because I have I think I have 20 liters left of liquid nitrogen. I need to finish that, and I can recharge. You can see the big boy here, but I have other 20 liters, and then I change. I go for the little one. The good thing is that they can deliver the LN2 to my home, so even with the COVID thing, I can do whatever I want. The best RAM for my okay. The RAM, I mean, Trident Z RGB below 4000. This is the best one. I mean, if you can afford the higher beam kit, it's like the 4600, 46, yes, 4600 C18. This is a good beam. Or the Trident Z Royale, but they are very expensive. Okay, guys. I really appreciate the support in the chat. And yes, as soon as I have the 1600, well, I will test every CPU. So sooner or later, I will do other live streams, other video, the complete review of all the new Intel CPU. Just a matter of time that I have the sample. So that's it. Okay, guys, I'm going to go to bed. So tomorrow we can do some good LN2 action and get back to that first position. I'm pretty sure we can find that. We can achieve that goal. That's it. Have fun, stay safe, and see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.